Welcome back to another video. I am covering some favorites today. So we are heading into September and I had a few things that I have been loving this month. Some products and some entertainment bits, games, shows, and some books to share with you. So let's dive right in. The first thing is this shirt that I'm wearing actually. I don't buy a lot of clothes very often. I'm quite picky, but I was very excited to find this shirt actually on Vinted. It's from Dish. It's an Australian brand and it's like a light knit shirt, and it's got like an asymmetric neckline. So super cute. It's very airy. While it is a knit, it doesn't make me very hot, and it's very easy to dress up or down. So I've been loving this. Super cute. Goes really well with some blue pants. So I've been loving that. I will link it below because I do think that it is still technically available on their website. And I think that they have a brown and a black version as well, if you're curious. If you saw my London vlog, I did a little haul at the end and I finally got a Mason Pearson brush. So I got the mixed bristle for normal hair. So it has the boar bristle and it also has the nylon bristles, and I've been really loving it. I've been wanting just a nicer brush for a while, so I just got the small one and it's been great. My hair feels very smooth, very healthy, and I would rebuy this if I lost it or something. So this has been great, but to pair with this, I've also been testing this Orbe Repair and Restore conditioner. And this has been such a good purchase. I will probably buy the full size because I have never had softer hair that also doesn't feel like there's any product buildup. I just washed my hair yesterday and it just is so silky smooth, and it maintains that after it's dried. And it washes out really nice. Some conditioners, like I can still feel it no matter how many times I rinse it out of my hair. I can still feel it after I've dried my hair. It just feels sort of sticky. So this has been amazing. I'm very excited to buy the full-size product, and maybe I will even try the shampoo. I'm unsure, but this has been fabulous. Then for a makeup product, you've probably heard a lot about the Clinique Black Honey lipstick, which I own. And I recently was at Boots and I saw that they had a nude honey and a pink honey, and I was very curious about the pink one. So I picked it up and it's what I'm wearing today. I might reapply a little bit. It's a super nice, like nudie, cool toned pink, which if I do wear any lip products, which I don't do often just because I feel like it looks too stark on me, I generally go for a more cool toned pink. If you've watched for a while, I also really love the Dior lip in the really light pink because it doesn't do too much. It just adds a very nice light sheen of color, and it's like a chapstick. It doesn't feel very thick on the lips. So this has been really nice, especially for still this summer month or when I'm a little more toned down. If I was wearing a little bit more of like a moody outfit, or now as we're transitioning into fall, I will probably go for the black honey again. But I like the option of having the pink honey because I just really love the formula of this. So amazing. Then for a little home, we recently went to Anthropologie and they have the best candles, and found this one. This is decorated for Halloween, but I'm wondering if they do still make this candle outside of autumn. It's Palo Santo and saffron. And if you've seen other favorites on here before, I generally like more woody, musky, deep scents. And so this has been amazing. We've been lighting it in the living room, and upon first coming in after a while of it burning, it just kind of smells like a nice woody sauna, which is one of my favorite scents ever. So this has been great, and I'm really hopeful that this isn't just an autumn exclusive scent because I would like to continue to purchase this and have them around the house. So before I move into some entertainment things, I do have one food mention, and that is some hot sauces. Now, if you are England based, this is going to be more catered to you because this is a Bristol based company. It's called Easton Chili, and they make a bunch of different hot sauces and also some like chili jams. And more recently, this has been favored by me, the Apollo. So it is quite spicy. It's got the 4 out of 5, but it's manageable. I have tried their 5 fire hot sauce and it's really tasty, but it sneaks up on you. So you only need a little bit. Murphy can't handle that one. He can this one, but he's not as much of a hot sauce person as I am. But I recently picked up this other one. This is in collaboration with a coffee roaster around here, and it's like a mole, which I don't normally love, but this, it's not too cinnamony, so I quite like it, and it does add a nice spice. I've been adding this to my burrito bowls lately, and it's just an added depth of flavor that you don't necessarily receive with this one. So these have been great. If you are in England, definitely check them out. Easton Chili, he does an amazing job there. Okay, 2 entertainment bits before I move into the books. First, let me just talk about the Nintendo Switch. I don't play games often, but I do, especially when it gets a little chillier. I like to just cozy up and play a game. And recently, you may have heard Tiny Bookshop came out, and it's just a cozy game where you're a bookseller and you travel around to different areas in this town and sell books. And you get to actually recommend books to people coming into your shop, and they're real life books like A Court of Thorns and Roses, Frankenstein, some nonfiction books like encyclopedias, and you get to recommend books to them and make money and make your bookshop nicer. And so it's a really nice low stakes game to play, and I've been enjoying playing that for the past week or so. Then to a TV show, Murphy and I recently watched Hostage, which is on Netflix, and it's basically about a female prime minister in the UK, and she has a husband who does medical work in like third world countries, and he gets taken hostage, and they're kind of sorting out that situation. It's a really good high stakes thriller to watch. And it's, I think it was like 8 episodes, about 40 minutes or so, but we ripped through that in a weekend and it was amazing. I feel like I've been needing a show like that because we've mostly been watching a lot of like Love is Blind, Love Island sort of stuff. So it was nice to have something just you could power through and you want to just click next on the end of every episode. So I would definitely recommend that on Netflix. Alright, so now for my more book forward people, I wanted to talk through a couple of the books that I read this month that were my favorite. So I did read 9 books, but I wanted to just mention a couple that were the best in my opinion. So starting off with a romantasy book, I read The Wolf King, which is about wolves and humans. And this female princess gets taken away by one of the wolves, and the wolves that are Scottish, by the way, so that's an added element, but gets taken away, and she's falling in love with this wolf, but she's also finding out new information about her, and as she's coming to terms with her relationship with this wolf, there's also like some other issues arising, and she's wanting to save him but also save herself. So it's kind of a whole what you would expect in a romantasy, will they, won't they, enemies to lovers situation. It's definitely heavier on the romance and the enemies to lovers aspect and not as much on the fantasy elements and the world building, but it did set up where I think maybe we'll get a little bit more of that in book 2, and I haven't quite read that yet. That will be in September, but I'm excited to see how that story unfolds. I have heard a lot of people say that the second one is really good and it leaves you on a cliffhanger, so I'm very excited for the second one. Continuing in the romantasy fantasy world, I read The Serpent's Bride, which I very kindly got an arc of, and this is a dark vampire romantasy book, and it's the start of a series, and basically this one we are following a Fae shapeshifter assassin whose family was killed by the vampire prince and like mafia ruler. Later in life, she has an opportunity to basically pose as the sacrificial bride meant for this prince who he has never met. And she basically now wants to infiltrate the family and take down each one of them one by one. So this was, again, a very high stakes situation, and the vampire prince is a very dark man, like very hateable, but throughout the story, like 2% of you is just feeling like, oh, but there's got to be a soft side, like where is it? Like he's gonna come to terms and he's gonna like her, yada yada yada. And she hates him. I mean, he killed her family. She, of course, hates him with all of her being, but there's also this sexual tension and desire that she can't ignore. So this was a really good one. I'm really excited for the next one. Unfortunately, I feel like it's going to be quite a while until it comes out. So it is a good one. If you love a vampire book and you love a dark fantasy book, I think this is a good one for you. Then into the more cozy scene, I also got an arc of another book called The Cinnamon Spice Inn. This one is exactly what you're expecting from a cozy small town romance. We're following Madison. She's a New York City food writer, reviewer, and she gets called back to her small town, Maple Falls, to help her father with the Cinnamon Spice Inn. And when she goes back, she finds out that she's not the only one helping with the inn. Her ex-boyfriend, Zach, who is a handyman, is also helping. So now they're living in proximity to each other, trying to fix up this inn in 4 weeks, but not kill each other or not fall in love. But it was really good. It was, again, exactly what you would expect from a cozy fall romance book, and perfect going into the fall when you just want to turn your brain off and read something super cute and make you feel nice inside. So that was a good one. I also read Everything is Probably Fine. This one I actually did the audiobook of, which was a great story, and it was following a girl who got put on sabbatical by her work and had to attend a 30-day wellness program in order to deal with some of her past traumas that were kind of leaking its way into her work. And upon, going into this program, she was very resistant to opening up and dealing with these things, but slowly she comes to terms and starts opening herself up. So in the process, she's making a lot of unexpected friendships with some of her neighbors who are helping her through this and helping her reconcile some differences with her sister's addiction that she grew up around that caused a lot of these traumas and burned a lot of bridges with other people in her life. So this was a very heartwarming, sad, deep story about addiction and how it can affect other people later in life. And I just thought it was really well done. I think if you liked The Wedding People, it has kind of a lot of the same elements, and it was written very well. I think that I would have enjoyed reading it physically. I didn't love the audiobook just because it was one person voicing a bunch of characters, and sometimes I have a hard time with that. It's a bit goofy to me, but overall it was really good, and I think that a lot of people would really like this. It's more of like a general and literary fiction. So finally, I have Project Hail Mary. I've been hearing everyone talking about this one, and I was a little hesitant because I don't read a lot of sci-fi, adult sci-fi at least, but dare I say that this might be one of my all-time favorite books. I did listen to this one on the audiobook because I don't have a lot of experience with adult sci-fi books. I honestly am not quite sure if I have ever read one, but I had heard that it was very jargon heavy, and I think having now listened to it, I think if I read it, I probably would have gotten a little bored, but the audiobook is chef's kiss. It's amazing. I love the guy that's voicing it, and I went in with really no expectations other than it was good, and it was deep, heartwarming, funny. Like, I was not expecting it to be funny at all, but I just, without ruining anything, I will miss Rocky so much. If you know, you know. But I would definitely encourage you, if you have been sci-fi curious but like nervous because of the jargon, or if it's going to be a little bit too involved, I think try Project Hail Mary audiobook, because it was so good. And in the really jargon heavy bits where they're, you know, really talking about science and physics and all of these things, you can tune out, and like you won't miss anything. You know when to like get back into this, when he's getting back into the story, if that makes sense. But hands down, one of my favorite books of this year, I think, definitely. So sci-fi curious, definitely check out the audiobook. And that is all for my favorites. So I'm very happy with the outcome of my favorite books that I read this month, and I'm loving and will continue to use the products I've showed you, and I will see you in a video very soon.